Indian police raid a Bombay brothel. The madams are outraged.
I'll get out of the way.
This is the end of a month-long Channel 4 investigation.
We've come into the roof of this brothel that we've raided. Come.
These teenage girls are victims of one of the fastest-growing industries in the world: sex traffic. India's northeast is famed for its tea estates and Himalayan views. It's the ancient crossroads of trading routes between Bhutan, Nepal, India and Bangladesh. And the town of Siliguri has always been at the hub of international trade. These days, that's nothing to be proud of.
According to the UN's latest figures, about 30,000 children are trafficked into Calcutta, and a lot of them come through Siliguri.
Some are local girls, abducted from their families. Baruka, a self-help group, is fighting to rescue the children from the slave traders.
So, Tamali, what are this sort of gallery? This is the first girl you rescued? She's still missing? She's still missing? Rescued? Tamli's saying that the problem of trafficking shown by this little board here in one village in northern India, that the trafficking problem is getting worse, mainly because people don't understand, and that naive villagers, often illiterate, hand over their girls into marriage or are taken away to work and disappear, and they're simply traded in the big cities as prostitutes.
In poor families, girls are often seen as a burden who'll need a dowry when they marry.
Hello.
It can sometimes make sense to send them away to work, but many don't come back.
This is Rinki. She's from a family that has a missing daughter, one of about 30,000 people who go missing in this area every year. I'll ask you a question. The reason we came is that we heard that Narurai here says that his daughter Pinky was 13 when his brother turned up at their hut with a labour contractor offering her work in New Delhi. 15 days went by and then they got a phone call saying that she'd just run away. And he doesn't believe that they allowed her to run away, he believed that they just sold her.
The poor are easy prey for the traffickers, and the victims and their parents suffer an unending agony. Chirmuti Burhan stopped me on the street.
Chirmuti's just run up to me and, embarrassingly enough, kissed my feet, begging for help because she has lost two daughters, one aged 10, one aged 11. The 11-year-old disappeared when she was sent off to sell milk in the marketplace, and 3 years later, same thing happened to her younger sister, who was then 10 years old. And she hasn't heard from her daughters at all. This is a land of missing children.
It's not just local children at risk. The trade is international. Worldwide, traffickers add 3 million women and children to an ocean of sex slaves each year. 250,000 are smuggled through South Asia. Siliguri's border police struggle to stem the tide.
How do you tell who is a trafficked child, who is a normal child, or...?
From reliable source information, we got information that they may hijack.
So you get advance warning, maybe from the Nepal side or
Bangladesh side.
Or Bangladesh
Especially
side.
from Bangladesh side.
Girls are lured into slavery with promises of jobs in the big city, or simply kidnapped and lost to their families. But sometimes, a family fights back.
I'm with Probat. He's a security guard at the local stadium. Now, his daughter was trafficked all the way to Bombay. He got together with the local police and actually rescued her and 3 other girls and another 13 who were released into the custody of the Bombay police. Your daughter's here? Down here. So this couple here are the people that trafficked your daughter to Bombay? To Bombay. How long was your daughter, Pratima, how long was she kept in Bombay?
For 9 months.
9 months. How old was she?
14 years.
14 years old. Here she is.
Pratima was drugged with a spiked mango juice, raped in Calcutta, and then sold to a brothel in Bombay.
Hello. Hello. Hi, Prabhat. My name's Sam. Did they beat you a lot? Were they violent with you?
Almost everybody used to beat her.
And did you get to keep any of the money?
No.
Did you ever ask for help from the customers?
They used to say that they will kill her if she did something like this.
If you tried to escape, they would kill you. Pratima had an extraordinary escape because some people tracked her down to Bombay and approached the brothel keeper, and the brothel keeper let her go, and she was able to be returned here to her family. If you met this trafficker, what would you do?
He would kill him.
Kill him.
Pratima's father gave me some leads. I decided to see if I could follow her route and retrace the ordeal of one victim of an industry that rivals drugs and weapons.
Stolen out of their fields or sold into slavery from the slums, the trafficked girls from West Bengal and Bihar find their way onto these trains down into Calcutta, where they will begin their lives as sex slaves.
More than 5 million people struggle to get by in this swampy morass of a city. A girl smuggled into sex slavery can expect very little help. Here, the tarts have very hard hearts.
I've come to Malka's house. She's a madam. I'm trying to get an understanding of how the sex trade really works, why there is such a huge demand for girls, especially underage girls.
I had a chat with one of the brothel regulars, closely supervised by Malka from Durbar, the sex workers union.
Okay, this is Sheikh Mohammed Inam. He's a client. And how often do you come here?
About 3 times a week.
Do you ever see any girls here who are under 18?
18 বয়স থেকে ছোট।
Whoops. Wrong question.
Mala interrupted and said, no, since Durbar, her organisation is working here, there are no underage girls. But she does point out that women as young as 12 get married in India, although the official legal limit is 18. And in a society like that, it's inevitable that underage girls are going to end up in prostitution, although they're working very hard to get the younger girls out. Calcutta might look pretty scrappy at the beginning, but it is at the centre of India's economic boom, with an enormous amount of information technology and other industries growing up out of this mess. And that is fueling a consumer boom in all kinds of things.
Among the products widely sold on the streets of Calcutta's red light district are children. We had to film secretly because Durbar, the sex workers union, which controls these streets, doesn't like cameras. According to them, there aren't any underage prostitutes, but near here Pratima had been raped, and some of these girls appeared to be in their early teens.
What's your name? Mumta. Mumta. What's your name? Sunda. Sunda. Yes? How old are you? How old are you?
19.
19. Okay. How old are you?
24.
24?
Yeah.
Right, right. And the moon is made of cheese. If somebody came here and they said, we can take you away from here and give you an education, what would you say? Are you afraid of getting any diseases? She can't answer why not. If she is 24 years old, right, that means she's old enough to have sex with whoever she wants. She's old enough to vote. How come she's not old enough to talk?
I was hustled off the streets by the madams.
They're getting very, very angry.
We're being escorted back to their office.
We were reminded that troublemakers got acid in their faces. The Sex Workers Union insists that all prostitutes are over 18, they don't face violence, and they are not exploited. Durbar is lobbying for the legalization of prostitution, and it's won the financial backing of the British government and Melinda Gates. But it would have been of very little help to a trafficked girl like Pratima.
I've just come from Siliguri and up around there, where I've met a number of girls who've been trafficked and some families of girls who have disappeared into the sex trade. And that is not voluntary, that is slavery, and therefore anybody who has sex with them is committing rape. And some of these girls are under 18, so not only is it slavery and rape, but it's rape of a minor.
But Chachu Dutta is Durbar's boss and the son of a sex worker.
But Chachu says that his organisation is opposed to any kind of child labour, whether it's in the construction industry or sex work, and that is why his organisation is getting together and has a series of self-regulatory bodies that keep the young people and the unwilling workers, sex workers, out of the trade. He says that since '98 there aren't any underage girls working on the streets. But I've just taken a walk on the street here and I met about 4 girls at least who were definitely not over 18 and they weren't allowed to speak for themselves.
He stuck to the party line. Any underage girls will not be allowed to work, they'll be rescued. And there aren't any underage prostitutes in Calcutta. Never mind the evidence of my own eyes. The UN says that 30,000 women and girls are forced into slavery through Calcutta every year. I wonder whose interests the Sex Workers Union represent. Enslaved prostitutes, or the industry that enslaves them.
The scale of this problem is phenomenal. Pratima's journey into and out of prostitution started here in Siliguri. That's where she was captured. She was then taken to Calcutta, where she was raped and prostituted and then put on a train and sold into Sheila's brothel in Bombay.
So I flew to the subcontinent's commercial capital. Sheila's did seem an improbable name for an Indian brothel. But I'd been given the address of someone who could help.
The Rescue Foundation is one of the few organisations I've come across that actually rescues women and trafficked children from the brothels. And I'm going to try and find out if they know about this woman or this place called Sheila's brothel. And how many girls have you rescued?
That figure is near about 400 girls.
400, just in Bombay?
No, not Bombay. Bombay, New Bombay.
I interviewed a girl called Pratima who was rescued. She said she was held in a brothel called Sheila's.
Sheila, yeah.
You know it?
I know Sheila. In Sheila brothels, we rescue, I think, in last 5 years, more than 28 girls.
28 girls?
28 girls.
Balkrishna Acharya had a tip-off that sex slaves were still being held at Sheila's.
We're going to go and see the local chief of police and see what he's going to do about it.
Welcome, thank you.
Panharanath Wahuli seemed uncertain about the need for a raid. He believes that without prostitution there can be no civilization.
This is the need of the society. This is the need of the male person. If this need is not fulfilled, I think they will commit some rapes or some modesty of the other good girls and good ladies in the society. So this is the good thing for a society also. This is my
Your view.
opinion.
He did draw the line at child prostitution.
If they're underage, you go in and get them out.
Yeah.
Well, the Assistant District Commissioner seems to be keen to conduct this raid, and he's also saying that everything's got to remain an absolute secret, and we're not even going to use police from the area around the red light district because they can't be trusted. We're going to be using police that come from out of their area.
Only Balkrishna knows where Sheila's brothel is, and he doesn't trust the police.
We're heading off to Kamatipura, but the police don't know where we're going. The actual target, the brothel, has been kept very closely secret by the Rescue Foundation to stop any last-minute leakages through cell phones. We're getting very close. So that's the second floor?
This is the ground floor.
Ground floor,
Yeah.
staircase, second floor, hiding space under the stairs. Just one?
Yeah, just रिपोर्ट होटल आएगा तो आगे से लेफ्ट जाएंगे हम फिर राइट जाएंगे यहाँ बस बात आगे चल के जाएंगे ठीक है
There are calls going out, warning calls. You hear them, woo, woo. Is this it?
Sideward. Please come here.
Aha,
Yes, come
it's a
here.
secret place.
Yes,
Ah, there's some girls in here.
Okay. चलो बाहर करो.
What's that other banging? How many? Just keep an eye on them, Richard. There's 1, 2.
इसको अलग ही रखना बेटा ना अलग बिठाना. इसको अलग बिठाओ अलग बिठाओ अलग बिठाओ.
Have a chat with these other girls and see if they want to get out.
Yeah, more. 4 more.
Crazy. Come on, tell them don't be afraid. We're not here to hurt you, okay? That's 7, 8. They're under here. Are there any more down there? Good God. We have just taken 10 girls. That's 10 human beings trafficked and hidden in this space out of this tiny hole here, which is 4 foot by 3 foot. 6 girls emerged. 6. And there were 4 in the tiny space that I'm in right now. They're all sticking to their story that they've been told to say, which is that they're 25 years old, which is self-evidently not the case.
The girls are told to wait, and 2 police are posted on the doors, while Balkrishna leads us to another part of the building.
Let's go. Balkrishna knows that up here on the first floor there's a trapdoor that leads to another secret chamber. He's just arranging to get a crowbar to break this lock.
These are the cells where young girls are forced to have sex with strangers just to earn their keep.
There we are. There's the trapdoor.
Yeah, here.
Yeah, that one. I'll get out of the way.
We could hear voices above us calling for help. They were short of air.
इसको खोल दे। ए बेटा खोल।
खोलो इसको।
काजल, खोल इसको।
वरना गिर जाओगे, खोलो जल्दी।
काजल खोल।
Okay.
चलो आओ बाहर।
अरे इनको अलग बिठाओ।
हाँ।
She's tiny. All right, come on then. All right. We've come into the roof of the brothel that we've raided, and we've already brought down about 6 girls up here. The others are now being persuaded to come out. They've been shoved into this roof.
Come.
3 of the girls who've come down have been suffering from a sort of suffocation and been very short of breath, almost unable to walk.
Please stay.
Yeah, this is not a big deal. Where are the girls?
Girls, go run out.
You didn't stop them?
How we both only?
But the other police, they've got, no.
All ladies came here, all mob.
But were the ones next door?
Next door also, they were also.
They all ran away? So what started off as an incredibly dramatic raid has now collapsed into farce. All of the girls have been allowed to run away into the crowd. How are you going to find these girls?
They will get the girls.
Okay. I hope so, because they could be in danger.
No. Their life?
Yeah.
Never.
Never?
No, never be their life.
We have your guarantee of that, do we?
100% guarantee their lives are not in danger.
Okay, good. All right. Now I see what you face.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
A third of the girls that Balkrishna has rescued over the last 15 years are HIV positive. The sex trade is booming alongside India's economy. But little is being done to curb the demand for underage girls, so more and more will be condemned to an early death.